Right.
Have you ever met somebody with schizophrenia?
I don't think so.
It's really interesting because the things that they're seeing or hearing do not exist.
Yeah, right. And
they feel them.
They hold up an important mirror to our own philosophies. It's the same thing with, like, a lot of people like to talk about how, you know, or the person, if someone who was acting rationally would never, like, indulge in this behavior, like pulling the lever, that's bad, and everyone knows it's bad. It's like, well, psychopaths exist.
Yep.
And they're people who just don't care. Right, and you have to deal with the fact that not everyone's brain works in the same way that yours does. And they're really interesting test cases. I mean, like, people who have some kind of mental disorder can be really interesting, like, philosophically.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of split brain patients? You know, the brain is in two hemispheres.
Yeah.
You've got the left and the right brain.
Yeah.
Ian McGilchrist writes about this in The Master and His Emissary. It's phenomenal. And they are famously responsible for different things. So, like, the right side of the brain moves your left arm, and the left side of your brain moves your right arm, broadly speaking. And this has an effect on behavior. Like, the eye that animals choose to, like, look at their prey will be determined by which hemisphere that they're sort of using. And people who have damage to the left-hand side of their brain will often have uncontrollable movements in their right arm. And likewise with the right and the left arm. But people who have damage in the right brain, and the right brain, broadly speaking, is supposed to be like the creative one.
I thought that's left.
No, the left brain is the
Left
sort
is
of
more like
mathsy,
scientific.
autistic kind of brain. So,
That's why they say the left-handed people tend to be more creative because its right side of the brain is more developed.
They say that.
Whatever.
It's unclear. It's unclear whether there's actually a connection there, but that's the kind of thing that people. That's why they say that, right? And people who have the damage to the right-hand side of their brain, if they have uncontrollable left-hand movements, they tend to be like feeling movements. They'll sort of feel things without being able to control it. Whereas if they've got damage to the left-hand side of the brain, their right hand will grab things, because the left-hand side of the brain is more numerical, and it's more like I guess precise and practical. So it's more grabby, right? And so the two hemispheres are connected by something called the corpus callosum, which is the connective tissue. And the tissue actually seems to do more to inhibit communication between them than to facilitate it, as if there's some evolutionary benefit to kind of having two brains.
Separately.
But some people have what's called a corpus callosotomy, which is where they sever the connection. This used to be a treatment for extreme cases of epilepsy. It was one of the only ways you could treat it. And in these patients, there is this strange phenomenon, which has been observed, called alien hand syndrome. It was first reported when a woman in like the 1800s, her left hand just started attacking her, started trying to choke her to death.
Whoa.
And she had to fight off her hand with the rest of her body. And there are people who, like, they'll pour a cup of coffee and then their other hand will just pour it out again. People who will get dressed, they'll put their trousers on and then the other hand will take it off again. And this,
Mr. Bean's
so
kid.
crazy.
yeah, seriously. And the most common place where this has cropped up is in cases of people who've had a corpus callosotomy. And so it seems to suggest that you might literally have sort of two consciousnesses that are like battling it out constantly. So a lot of our decision making, and this might be where like freedom of the will comes in, is like your brain is sort of battling against itself to figure out which one's going to win out or something.
You're a determinist, right?
I don't believe in free will, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But the thing that terrifies me is to think, like, okay, so say you've got this left hand that's trying to kill you. If there is some kind of consciousness attached to it, that's not the consciousness that's attached to your awareness, your eyes, your mouth, your ears and stuff, because otherwise it would say something. And so if there is a separate consciousness that's somewhere trapped inside you with no mouth, no eyes, no ears, the only way it has to communicate is by like controlling the arm. What if it's like trapped in there trying to tell you something? Maybe that's why it's trying to kill you, because it wants to
Jerking off all the time.
Who
knows? Who knows what's in there? You know? I got a gay consciousness inside me. I gotta grab my dick all the time.
Yeah, maybe that's what the choking is about. Yeah. It's terrifying to think though, right?
Is it possible there's not just like a subconscious like feed that's getting put into your muscles that then is giving an electrical impulse?
Yeah, I mean that's possible, but it just seems like a strange coincidence, doesn't it? That like when you split the two hemispheres of the brain, you increase the probability of like people's limbs acting of their own accord.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be connected. And we don't know exactly, but people who undergo these experiences have really interesting like examples of how like our philosophy can just completely shift or change based on the way people behave. I mean, your idea about theory of mind and what mind is and whether it's attached to the brain or whatever can be altered by the existence of split brain patients. Because what if there are two people? Like in the philosophy of mind, a really important question is, it's called personal identity. Like, what makes you the same person you were 5 minutes ago? What is the actual connection? Like, what's going on there? And one important question people ask is like, if I cut your brain in half, and I take the two parts of the brain, I put them into new individual bodies and wake them up. Like, which one is you? And some people say neither of them, in which case you've just died. That seems a little bit weird. Some people say, well, they're both you. But if they're both you now, then 5 minutes ago they must have both been you as well, but like in one person. So it's like for your whole life you were two people living together. That doesn't seem quite right either. And
have you seen the show Severance?
No, but I've heard about it. I started watching the first.
You're familiar with the premise of the show?
No, I'm actually not really. So no spoilers.
No, I'm not going to give away. But the idea is that you could sever the brain in a way where when you go to work and you enter this space at work, you like
don't remember or something.
Yeah, you are you essentially, but you have limited knowledge of things in the outside world.
Yeah.
You speak, fluently. I think you have like some words you don't know. You don't understand like what Bermuda is or whatever. But like you are you. You kind of have the similar personality, but you have no connection to who you are in the outside world. So the idea is you could just go to work and then clock out.
Yeah.
And it sounds good on paper. A lot of people have shitty jobs. You're like, I'd like to, for 8 hours, not even think about how horrible my fucking job is, and then you leave. And the show is this interesting experiment because it's like, well, how much autonomy and agency do those people have at work? And then once they find out that there's a life outside of work that might be better and they don't have control of existing outside of it, do they fall in love? And what if that person decides to quit their job? They're dead if they quit their job. And I'm curious on like how much rights you think those people would have. It still is you, but now they're a completely autonomous human being.
The important question to me is whether that is the same person. And that's when you have to ask, what makes you the same person?
I don't want to give away anything from the show, but let's continue asking.
Like, what makes you the same person that you were when you were a child? Like again,
it's not a collection of memories because your twin might have the exact same experiences.
Yeah, and also you could have false memories. I could take your memories and implant them in someone else, and they wouldn't become you. Right. It can't even be the physical matter that you're made out of, because like the atoms in your body are constantly like replenishing and changing, and after enough time, it's like no physical part of you. So suppose, for example,
that's true. Right? Like your skin isn't you because your skin replaces itself.
Exactly,
every 3 years.
So like they say that every 7 years, every atom in your body replaces itself. I don't know if that's actually entirely true.
But let's assume.
But yeah, I mean, because say somehow after 7 years, I took all of the atoms. I managed to find all of the atoms that had been part of you but had floated off or changed, and I put them all together again.
And made another
version of you. Like, which one is you in the sense of being continuous with yourself like 10 minutes ago? I mean, it kind of has to be you now because you've got this continuous.
Sure.
But then this is the same atoms. This is like the same being, and it's actually kind of an impossible question to answer.
Yeah.
Which one is you, and which one would you rather be? So say, for example, that like in 10 years from now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the atoms that make up you right now, the atoms that are in your body right now. I'm going to collect them in a jar, and in 10 years from now, I'm going to reconstruct them next to wherever you are in 10 years, and then I'm going to torture one of them. Which one do you want me to torture? Like, which one do you choose?
That's Severance.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, not exactly, but to a certain extent.
Which one would you want?
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Torture him.
The atoms in a jar?
Yeah.
That's you right now.
I know.
So you make that decision, you lock it in, and then like click my fingers, and suddenly you're like next to your future self, and you're like, wait, I've messed up here.
It wouldn't be my future self because it didn't go through the experiences that I went through, right, which made me who I am now.
You would just suddenly wake up with all the memories you've got now.
You're saying in this...
Because look, all the atoms that make up you right now include your brain, include your memories and stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is
you recreate them at the exact same time and then let them live their own life.
I'm just taking whatever atoms you have in your body right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to like put them back together again in 10 years. Like exactly.
But then they haven't went through what I went through over the 10 years.
That's right. But it will
when I have another thing with this.
The experience will feel as if you're talking to me right now, and
as the exact same person.
Suddenly, click.
Yeah.
You're now 10 years into the future.
Yeah.
Because I'm just taking all of the atoms that you've got right now, as you are right now, and I'm just putting them back together again.
But they would be devoid of the experiences I had over the last decade.
That's right. From the experience of that person that I create, they would remember 5 seconds ago being sat here talking to me.
This is Severance, right? To a certain extent.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Yes. It just feels like you're just suddenly there.
The reason why I would feel more agency is because, hey, I've had these last 10 years of memories, right? So I believe I should have more agency than you. I've lived my life, but... Yeah. But what if you had a debilitating neurological disorder that stripped you of your ability to create new memories. Dementia, Alzheimer's. Now you're not creating new memories. Now you don't have these experiences. So I can't say I have more agency than that body because we have the same amount of new memories.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, say for example, like
I put more work in, bro.
suppose that you, I'm gonna like take all of your memories and I'm gonna swap it with the guy over there. Let's call him Joe. And tomorrow you're gonna wake up and you're gonna have all of Joe's memories, and Joe's gonna wake up and he's gonna have all of your memories. So you're going to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up tomorrow, and you are literally going to remember being Joe.
Yep.
Going to sleep, waking up, and being like, "What the flip? I've got this game stash. I've got this."
Yeah. You keep talking about my mustache. I'm going to think you're flirting. I am not your brother.
You keep talking.
You do not talk about me like him. Anyway, keep going. So who?
It's more than just who are you. It's again, because I'm a bit of a sadist here. I'm going to torture one of these guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
After you wake up.
Yeah.
Which one do you want me to torture?
Which one has the bigger dick?
Are you subjectively still now working with your own body and perceptions, but with Joe's memories?
That's right. So you would wake up and like literally like the physical being that you are, you're gonna wake up and you're just gonna remember being Joe. Likewise, Joe is going to wake up and he's going to remember sat here having this conversation with me. That's what he's going to remember. Because intuitively to me, I'm like, well, I want Joe to be tortured tomorrow. Right. Because like I'm still me, and even if I've got all of his memories, I'm still me. But there's this weird feeling that, okay, so I say, okay, I'm going to torture Joe. Then tomorrow, Joe wakes up and he remembers last night making the decision that he was going to be tortured. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got all of my memories. So he wakes up and he's like, crap, like I look a lot like Joe now. And last night, what did I do? Oh, I told them to torture Joe, and now I'm Joe. And you'd feel like you'd totally messed up.
But you would remember why you said that, though.
Yeah, but you would probably feel like you wanted to reverse that decision then, wouldn't you?
Afterwards,
you'd be like, hold on.
Yeah. Before, no, but afterwards, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd rather experience the remnants of torture than experience torture.
But if you know that you're about to regret a decision, doesn't that tell you the decision's wrong? If you're making a decision and you know for a fact that in 1 day's time you're going to go, damn, I wish I chose the other one.
Have you not been to a bachelor party?
I don't know if you would regret it. I don't know if you would regret because you don't have the memory being experienced. Or you don't have the memory of the torture.
Yeah, but from your experience, this is the way it would feel. Is you sat here having this conversation, going, "Let's torture Joe tomorrow," closing your eyes, waking up as Joe, and being like, "Crap, why did I tell him to torture me?"
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
But I think having the memory of the torture is better than
because it's actually Joe that wakes up with your memories. So you wake up with Joe's memories, but the continuity of experience goes from you sat on this chair to waking up as Joe about to be tortured, and you remember. You're like, 5 minutes ago I was Alex, and I told them to torture me. Now, why the hell did I do that?